Hi Vamshi. Hi Jyoti.
హాయ్ అండి.
We will wait for 1 or 2 minutes and we'll start, okay? Just give me a 2 minutes time. I'm just checking with others too. Fine. Prabhakar.
Yes, sir. Hi, sir.
Just waiting for people, huh? Just wait for some time, huh? Just to check with others.
అర్థం కాలేదు సార్ అన్నారు.
No, we are just waiting for people to join. Just wait for.
ఓకే సార్, ఓకే, నో ప్రాబ్లం.
So I think Rahul is supposed to join, right? You said Rahul also will join. I'm just waiting for Rahul also. So Jyoti, I think you joined today only, right? So uh, I came to know from Prabhakar that you are looking for some kind of Snowflake DBA training. So what is the background, Jyoti? If you don't mind. Jyoti.
Yeah, I'm a SQL Server DBA
Okay.
working on the Snowflake right now, so I just need a training.
Okay. Okay. So are you aware of Snowflake already or you
Yeah,
got
I'm aware of it.
okay. Okay. Sunil, how about you, Sunil?
Yes, actually, I was working in the support project.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to Snowflake in depth. In my support, we are using Snowflake, just basic version, like the
Okay.
basics.
Okay. 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 I got it. I got it. Prabhakar, is Rahul joining?
Yeah, yes, sir. I can.
No, no.
Okay,
Is Rahul joining? I'm asking because I'm starting the class.
okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. Okay. So we had a basic level of introduction already yesterday, but I want to recap once again for who joined new today. So let me share my screen. So just to introduce myself, right, who are new here today, my name is Srinivas and I have nearly 20 plus years of experience. I am currently working as a senior cloud data architect in a multinational UK bank. I'm located in UK and I'm currently working here. So majorly I work on the data pipeline management and maintenance in Snowflake, AWS, and also I work on some part of data science using Snowflake and machine learning and generative AI and agentic AI. Plus, I also manage most of my entire project environment. I do also act as a DBA. So where I require to maintain my entire Snowflake environment, I am the responsible person to maintain that. So I do as a combination both. And coming to like who are already have some knowledge on Snowflake, is just like an introduction about Snowflake. And if you are already aware of that, please bear for it. And if you have any questions, you can ask me also. So let me share my screen.
Hi, sorry to interrupt.
Hmm. Yes, please. Okay. I'm just sharing my screen. So when I talk about like we discussed about majorly if you go and see majority of the like data projects in the market, either you use SQL Server or Oracle or MySQL or Sybase, any kind of databases if you see, these databases were not like new. They are already available since for a while, and where initially the data was maintaining, people are maintaining in kind of in the form of files, and later slowly people moved to the like databases where all these traditional RDBMS databases became famous because of their security and data management and providing the backend support to the application. So all these majorly played a crucial role in the 90s decade to most of the companies to maintain their data and support their applications. But this particular 90s decade was very particular about how to like load the data and then try to manipulate and extract it. And this is the only way. the people were maintaining. That too, the only structured data was people were leveraging, and there was no any kind of other types like semi-structured or quasi-structured that time. So whoever wants to manage this semi-structured data, that time there was no semi-structured data at all. Whenever we moved to the 2000 decade, the main like revolution started in 2000 because the birth of like data warehouse started. So why this birth of big data also started is because most of the people who are like looking for the analysis perspective, the real-time environment was not supportive, so they want to have a separate environment to build their dashboards or reports. That is where people started separating the real-time data to another database, and that too with the most recent data, which will not going to change most frequently. And that is where the birth of data warehouse started. And this data warehouse also was only on the traditional RDBMS databases like Oracle and SQL Server and some set of CSV files. And whatever the data people use it to maintain, that particular ETL process, which we call it as in the data warehouse, extract, transform, and load. This process used to follow these traditional ETL tools like Informatica, Data Stage, SSIS. So many different tools became very popular in this particular like 2000 decade to build the ETL enterprise level data warehouses. And on top of that, people started building their dashboards and reports also. Like business objects is one of the popular tool that time, MicroStrategy, and SQL Server reporting service, which is very popular to very popular to build the reports. And slowly, what happened? Companies started leveraging their internal data itself, and then CRM applications they used to maintain. They started building their own enterprise level data, conventional data warehouse to maintain all this. So that particular data also structured data, majorly structured data people were leveraging like rows and columns where they want to only manage structured data. Even they want to manage other types of data. There was no any particular tool to maintain that. So majority people who use it to work on this particular data warehousing technologies, they required the database knowledge like Oracle, PLSQL, and also TSQL. These are the popular databases during that particular time. Whoever knows a database like Oracle and Informatica, they used to work on the ETL projects. Or TSQL, SQL Server, both use it to also help in building the enterprise level data warehouses. So these databases were very popular. And data loading frequency also only batch loading. There was no any continuous loading. This continuous loading majorly will require a live streaming data also, where it will try to provide the real-time systems to be built. So these particular major like enterprise level data warehouses people started building in the early stages of 2000, and then when people moved to 2000 decade, 2010 decade, so the birth of big data also happened. So people started leveraging the conventional like data warehouse moved to big data warehouse. So the big data warehouse is basically a data warehouse only with the huge volume of data and different varieties of data also, where people used to leverage. But when you go and see, most of the big data warehouses slowly move to big data lake also. That big data lake, if you want to maintain, you also need to have a dedicated team. That was very challenging. So companies started experiencing challenges to maintain this, and developers also started experiencing some challenges to learn this big data technologies. So that is where every company started looking for alternative. So then the next generation of big data came into the market like cloud data warehouses. The cloud data warehouses basically will help us on how to maintain the big data in the cloud, and also how to manage this conventional data warehouse to big data warehouse, and that big data warehouse not only for big data warehouse, even big data lake to maintain. People started leveraging the big data technologies like Hadoop and other big data frameworks. but those frameworks were having some limitations. So people started thinking about alternative solution. So that is where Snowflake became one of the new solution for both batch systems and real-time systems. And Snowflake will basically does not require any like a ecosystem like a big data. So it is already all features are integrated in single product, and you do not even need to do any patching, upgrading like other tools. That Snowflake team will take care of that, and most of the performance also interlinked, and it is already manual intervention is not required, which is inbuilt. And also for transformations, we also have the graphical GUI tools available in the market, which are already popular now. So no need to even write any kind of coding for transformations like PySpark and other kind of solution big data. And unlimited storage. This is also one of the main reason why companies are looking for this Snowflake and other cloud services, because I don't want to upgrade every time. Whenever my data volume is automatically increased, I should be able to increase very easily without depending on the third person like the DBA and other people. So Snowflake provides a unlimited storage where I can store any amount of data. And if you go and see, most of the Snowflake projects will have unlimited storage, and they can leverage and they can pay. Storage cost will be applicable, but you can store any amount of data. And the problem with the big data is it is not easy to find to people who knows so many frameworks in big data. But in Snowflake side, you just need to know SQL. If you know SQL, you are more than enough to go and learn Snowflake very easily. And salary is also extremely high for both. But Snowflake also, you can see market is very hard skill in the market. And coming to why Snowflake is very popular, there are some main 5 reasons. The first one is simplicity, because Snowflake account to create a Snowflake account, it is just like 1 to 2 minutes, not even more than that. Simply log into Snowflake website and provide your email or Gmail and follow some instructions, and step by step that particular website itself will have, and then you can create your Snowflake account within 1 or 2 minutes. That is basically why Snowflake is simple. And second thing, scalability. Scalability means we can scale up to any amount of data. There is no restriction. There is no restriction on the size, and I can scale up to any number of users. If you go to some databases, you will have a restriction on the number of users. But in Snowflake, there is no such restriction. And workload also, any amount of workload you can go and process. Plus the size change. I want to go and change the size of the warehouses in Snowflake. There is a concept called warehouses, virtual warehouses. So in normal traditional databases, you cannot immediately go on-file and change the size, the storage, or compute all this. But with Snowflake, I can easily do that, because Snowflake environment is not combined. It is not going to combine storage and compute together like other databases. The storage is separate, the compute is separate. So storage and compute both are two different features which are not tightly coupled. So Snowflake is going to allow you to increase the size anytime and increase the compute or number of servers capacity also anytime. And pay as you go. So pay as you go is one of the very popular feature in most of the projects, because the flexibility of using and pay. Most of the cloud technology, if you see like AWS or Azure or even GCP, all these cloud providers, they are giving an offer of use and pay. So Snowflake also following the same approach. So that is where flexible cost and diversity, where you can store the data in one location and access from multiple locations also. That is the core 5 reasons why companies are choosing Snowflake here. And coming to how Snowflake is basically different from other cloud databases is Snowflake follows a multi-cluster shared data architecture. So multi-cluster means when you are processing your SQL queries, you need to go and use the compute where Snowflake is going to provide that with the virtual warehouses, which is a group of a compute clusters. A multi-cluster warehouse is going to help me to run my queries faster compared to a single cluster warehouse. So a warehouse in Snowflake terminology is a group of machines where it will provide resources like CPU, temporary storage, memory, all will be provided to run your SQL statements. It can be any SQL statement. It requires a virtual warehouse to be up and running in Snowflake. If you don't have any virtual warehouse up and running, you cannot run any SQL statement. So Snowflake is a single place for data which can scale up, and scalability I can go and increase, and also elasticity and instant live data sharing also you can perform, and near zero management. So most of the maintenance like patching, upgrading will be taken care by Snowflake team in the background without human intervention. So this is not majorly required because most of the Snowflake team will take care of how to maintain the environment. We do not need to install any software or hardware. So everything will be seamless and simply plug and play and log in, create your account, log in and use it. And that is how a Snowflake environment can be utilized. Within 1 to 2 minutes, you can go and create and use. Then coming to like other features which Snowflake is basically providing is like, as I mentioned, most of the traditional databases follow shared disk architecture, where you will have a single storage disk here, and which will be shared by multiple machines, and where if it is this particular disk is down, all will be down. This is the old practice, but modern databases are following shared nothing architecture. The shared nothing architecture is nothing but where every system will have its own storage, where you can see here. So this storage is like dedicated to this machine. So even one particular storage is down, you can get the data from other storages. That is where Snowflake is going with a multi-cluster shared data centralized scale out architecture to maintain your data with independent compute clusters. These compute clusters are nothing but each cluster here is a group of machines, so that a multi-cluster warehouse with, for example, if I have a 5-cluster warehouse, will run queries faster. My SQL queries faster compared to a single cluster. So number of nodes increases, your query speed also will increase, and performance will increase. Multi-parallel processing will increase. So the number of clusters, which is called scale out in Snowflake terminology, is very important when you have multiple people are running the queries. If any single query is running for a long, then I need to do a scale up, which is called as. So that is called as increase in the warehouse size. We'll discuss about them in the upcoming classes. So a multi-cluster shared data centralized independent compute cluster architecture, which Snowflake is following to maintain your environment, which is one of the unique architecture in the market. So that is why Snowflake is very unique. And coming to like other important features why Snowflake is very popular is the security and data protection. If you go and see, most of the like databases and then any particular environments, if you see, the multi-factor authentication is very, very important nowadays, which will provide the additional security like our OTP. So you need to configure a multi-factor authentication for your Snowflake account, which is always very, very important, so that your account will be secured. And most of the enterprise companies also will try to integrate their accounts with the single sign-on, which is called LDAP, Windows authentication. So Snowflake allows to integrate with a single sign-on with Okta. So if at all I want to integrate with my enterprise level users accounts, I can integrate with the Okta is one of the application. And Snowflake follows a standard ANSI scale, because if you go and see majority databases also follow the same. So there is no any specific separate SQL you have to learn in Snowflake. If you know any database, it's very easy. So learning SQL and SQL is almost same with most of the other databases also. The DDL, DML, and the DCL, TCL, all these commands are almost same here also. And Snowflake also supports the transaction management, views, and it supports the stored procedures, and it provides almost all the features, functions, all whatever available in other databases, you can also implement here. And the connectivity, if you see, I can manage my entire Snowflake environment by simply using Python Snowflake connector or Snowpark connector also. I do not even need to go and log into Snowflake environment. I can simply through programmatically, I can manage. If you go and see one of the examples which I can show you, this particular feature, whatever you see, this environment, this is built using Snowflake and then Python connector and Snowpark. You can see here, this is a independent environment which I created using like Snowpark and Snowflake Python connector, where it will try to connect to my Snowflake account by simply by logging with my account, and you will see most of the admin activities I do from here. I do not even log into Snowflake environment. It is my own environment which I built by leveraging Snowflake and then Python and some part of Snowpark. So you can see majority of admin activities I already created here, and I can go and I can manage. So you can even programmatically also manage Snowflake using programming language like Python also, which will make your life easier. You do not even need to log in into Snowflake at all. Most of my admin activities I manage through this interface, which you see here, like database failover, database migration, and majority are like if you go and see query optimization and monitoring the shares, all these are independent unique features in Snowflake. Time travel and failsafe. There are so many features which Snowflake is offering. For example, if you go and see majority databases, if you go and see when you want to restore any deleted data, you cannot restore that much easily. As a DBA, you can do that, but as a developer, it is not easy. But in Snowflake, we have the feature called time travel, which we can go back to a particular time and we can restore on our own. And any table you accidentally dropped, you can even restore by using undrop command, undrop table name. So Snowflake is providing some features to restore your data, which is already accidentally deleted also or updated also. So no need to go and wait for the DBA. You can restore on your own, but you need to know the feature, time travel, and how to use it. If you know, then you can easily restore your data. And if at all you want to share any data with other Snowflake accounts, you can share using the secure data sharing, which is one of the feature without transferring the data. So normally, most of the clients will be very worried about their data sensitivity. They don't want to share their data with everyone, so they want to protect their data. So secure data sharing feature will allow us to share the data without physically transferring the data. And coming to Snowflake also offering machine learning and then generative AI features also, which we can easily implement with the tools which it is providing. There is a separate tab called AI Data Cloud. If you want to implement any machine learning algorithms, usually we used to write like a Python coding and all. Now it is not needed. Snowflake, it will automatically generate the code and you can simply go and execute it. But you need to know how to use that tool. And Snowflake also providing the document AI to process the document. For example, I want to go and extract information from documents. I can use that feature. But I want to go and build a chatbot. I can use Cortex AI. But I want to go and extract the information from a voice recording. We can even do that. Snowflake is providing many different features. which I do not even need to go outside of Snowflake. Everything end to end I can implement in Snowflake itself. I do not even need to go out of Snowflake to integrate with other tools. And DBT integration. If at all I want to use any partners like DBT, Matillion, CoolCTL, Fivetran, all these are the third party tools which Snowflake can easily manage. This partner connects, which we call it as, they will provide a facility to access Snowflake data and manipulate the data also. If as a developer, I want to go, and as a DB, I want to go and connect to other tools, I can even do that by using the partner connect. One of the feature which Snowflake is providing to test their environment with other partners. And this particular Snowflake ASQL, this is also one of the very intelligent SQL where we can see, you can simply ask a query and it will generate a query automatically. For example, if you go and see here, if I go and select any particular show all databases, and it will generate automatically the query, and it will try to, I can go back and choose an example here and quick SQL, and I need to enter my question here, show all databases, so automatically it will go and provide the data. So these particular features, whatever you see, you select example and it will generate the output, and you can go back and see the data on fly. So most of the AISQL part in Snowflake, earlier we used to write so much amount of Python coding, but here everything is a SQL function. Simply pass the data to the SQL function, it will extract what information you need automatically. Either it can be document or a audio or a video or any kind of data. We have respective function here. AI transcribe, one function to extract information or insights from a call recording or voice. So there are so many functions are there which will help you to manage like a database developer, even it is a AI feature or machine learning feature also. And apart from this, we also have like zero copy cloning, which is basically will provide. Normally, if you go to any other databases, when you want to go and create a backup environment, you will need to spend additional storage cost. For example, I have one terabyte production database, and I want to create one development and one QA databases using that. You will have an additional 2 terabyte storage cost. But in Snowflake, this zero copy cloning will eliminate that. I can simply clone my production database to one development database and another QA database. The storage cost for QA and development databases is 0. Snowflake will never charge for cloned databases. So this will help you to reduce your storage cost. And anytime when you run any SQL query, Snowflake will provide resources. And then Snowflake will try to charge for that because compute cost will be there. A compute cost is applicable when your queries are running and they are using some resources from the warehouse which is running. So if at all I want to eliminate the utilization of Snowflake warehouse, then I need to use a feature called Snowflake caching. The Snowflake caching will reduce your compute cost. And then query optimization can be done through clustering and micro partitioning, query acceleration service. We also have like search optimization service, data metric functions, data sampling. So there are so many features which Snowflake is offering to optimize your environment also, reduce the cost. The main objective of any Snowflake developer or DBA is here to how to reduce the cost and optimize the environment. Every cloud environment, if you see, the target is how to reduce the cost. At the same time, how to optimize the environment. But for that, we need to know some of the best practices and how to use these features. So Snowflake is providing so many features. At the same time, they are providing so many benefits to the customers to reduce their cost also. But you need to identify and you need to implement them. Then only you can get benefit of what Snowflake is offering us. And coming to like other important features which Snowflake is offering, apart from that, like data sharing, data masking. So dynamic data masking, we call it as. So any customer, they don't want to disclose their data, sensitive data, you can mask it. We have like a column level masking and row level masking also. Column level masking means the column, assume that I have a column called Aadhaar number or social security number, SSN number, SSN. I want to mask it from the unauthorized people. So I can apply a masking policy by creating, and which will be not visible to the unauthorized users. So data masking will provide us, which is a column level masking. So row level masking is basically where you will restrict the data at each row level, like country level masking or department level masking. So all this will help us in how to implement the data governance also. In the data governance itself, we have so many features. Projection policies, joining policies, aggregation policies. As a DBA, people mainly focus on that particular data governance, but as a developer also, you should know fundamentally these features. Like what is data masking, what is row level and column masking. But as a DBA, you may need to know a little bit deeper, like object tagging. And then as I mentioned, the different masking policy types you need to know and how to tag them. So you need to know a little bit deeper. Even secure data sharing also. A account admin also only can implement that. As a developer, you may not have the provision to implement secure data sharing feature also. Even data masking as well. But you should know that at least. And apart from that, Snowflake provides the features like how to implement stored procedures for business logic and functions for calculations also. And if at all you are working on a DBA side, you also may majorly focus on like network policies and database failover and failback and how to maintain the environments. And majorly you work on like clustering and micro partitioning to optimize the SQL queries. And there are so many best practices, warehouse optimization. How you can optimize my warehouse utilization? How to reduce the cost? Cost optimization is very, very important. Most of the projects we go and see, their target is to build the efficient data pipelines with the cost optimization. That is what mainly people focus. And integrating with other tools also very important. How can I integrate? How to load the data directly from S3 bucket to Snowflake? I assume I don't have any S3 bucket access. Then what is the alternative solution? How to use the internal and external stages in Snowflake? And how to perform incremental loading, CDC, how to implement the change data capture. We have streams concept. And how to schedule that. We have a task concept. And how to replace these two. I don't want to use both streams and the tasks separately. Then I have a dynamic tables also, which will directly replace the complexity of streams and tasks also. How to implement SCD types. So there are so many features Snowflake is offering to implement. It is not only for AWS. I can also use Snowflake with Azure or GCP also. Snowflake is offering three different clouds. The first one is AWS, second one Azure, third one GCP. And every Snowflake environment, if you see, it will have three different layers, which is called a three-layer architecture. The topmost layer, which you see in the green color, is called cloud services layer, where your authentication, security, metadata management, and optimization, query, like engine parsing, all will happen in the topmost layer called cloud services layer. And the second layer is called compute layer, where your actual SQL queries will be executed. This layer is responsible for maintaining the virtual warehouses and your SQL queries. And whatever the challenges you see in the development side, you will be able to see in this particular layer only, like data spilling. Every developer will experience, and you need to address that. And centralized storage is the third layer, where your data, how it will be maintained by Snowflake. Like it is a AWS cloud or Azure cloud or GCP cloud. According to the cloud, it will vary. So you need to understand these 3 layers. This 3-layer architecture is going to help us to understand how Snowflake is going to maintain your data and the environment. And coming to like how Snowflake is basically comparatively is better than other databases. Redshift, if you go and see, Redshift, if you see, that is also similar to cloud, but it is Snowflake, but that is in the AWS environment, but that is very suitable for AWS environment and AWS services. Compute and storage are coupled in Redshift, because if at all I want to increase number of nodes, you need to stop it and start it. Storage also, if at all I want to increase, you need to stop and start it. So, but in Snowflake, that is not required. So no downtime you will experience, and no separation of workloads. And to maintain the semi-structured data, you can directly load semi-structured data like JSON, Parquet into Snowflake environment very easily. But in case of Redshift, I need to again go for a other feature called Redshift Spectrum, which is a bit costly. And even to use this particular Redshift environment, it will take so much amount of time to optimize the Redshift cluster, increase the number of nodes and scale up also. But in case of Snowflake, within fraction of very limited minutes and seconds and minutes, you can optimize or increase your like warehouse size or number of nodes also, number of clusters also. It will take minutes only, not even hours. So all are integrated in single environment. So you will see a better architecture compared to the Redshift, and even Teradata also same. The compute storage are coupled. So, but in Snowflake side, it is decoupled. So whatever the limitations you find in other databases, in Snowflake, you will see that those limitations are already addressed. And coming to Oracle also same, Oracle Cloud and Snowflake Cloud. So Snowflake Cloud is independent and unique and comparatively better than Oracle as per my experience. And coming to like Snowflake perspective, this is one of the environment which you can see. All these are sources coming from different, like data coming from different sources, and the data ingestion is happening through Informatica here. And Informatica is acting as a data ingestion here, and this can be replaced by other tools also. Like I can even use the data stage. I can use like other ETL tools like business objects. We have so many tools. Even Azure Data Factory also people use. So we need to identify which is the data ingestion. If you don't want to use that, you can also use the native cloud ETL tools like Matillion also now. So slowly Matillion is replacing Informatica and other tools. And one thing which we need to remember here is the data which is coming from different sources. After the data ingestion, most of the data is moving to the S3 bucket here, the red circle, because that is acting as a intermediate storage here. This can be also a blob storage, Azure side, or Google Cloud storage also. It can be anything out of these three. And for this application, AWS Amazon S3 is acting as intermediate storage. For some other project, it can be blob storage also. It depends. And then this data will be processed and then finally will be pushed into the other database, and which will be utilized by most of the dashboard teams and machine learning teams and other data analysis teams. So the target golden data will be utilized by majority of the most of the times dashboard teams and ML teams, machine learning and data science teams. But as a data engineer, our responsibility is to how you will optimally load, ingest, and then transform and then load into the Snowflake environment. That is majorly important. So you can use any tools, but at the end of the day, the data which the target users will use, that is very important. How better you optimize your pipelines to how fast you will load the data, how fast you will provide the data to the users, and they can easily access. That is pretty much important. And we have other architectures also. This is another one. The data is coming from a particular web application, and that is usually captured by a Python code here, Python group of Python code, and that is pushing into S3 bucket again. And from there, you are using Matillion ETL to ingest the data into the Snowflake environment. So Matillion is a popular cloud ETL tool here in the market with Snowflake, and this is helping to load the data into Snowflake, and at the same time, it will also help us to create some transformations with orchestration and can help us to process the data. It can process any kind of data, semi-structured, structured, and then quasi-structured, any kind of data. It can process and it can push into Snowflake environment. And as soon as my data in Snowflake environment, I can use the secure views or material views to access the data as a dashboard engineer also. Or am I ML engineer? I can also use my access to connect to this particular final data source, and I can manage my data also. At the same time, if you observe here, you can also implement data ops like using CI/CD on these data pipelines also. For that, I also need to use some part of Jenkins and then code commit. These tools also required. And at the data governance level, if you see, you need to go and leverage many different tools here like MFA, role-based access control, and then single sign-on and database replication, resource monitors, very, very important for basically admins, which they will go and monitor the warehouses, and they will try to control by monitoring the warehouses at account level and warehouse level by using resource monitors. Every DBA has to know how to use resource monitor and what are the different characteristics of resource monitor, and they should know how to replicate the database, how to perform the like data integration and SSO integration, for example, and multi-factor authentication setup and role-based access control. These are all admin activities majorly, but if you know them as a developer also, it will be very helpful normally. But we are going to discuss about most of these activities. And account setup is which we discussed already, but it's very easy. Just go to the Snowflake website and then you can use the sign up page. And when you click on this, it will go to the Snowflake website here, which we saw yesterday. And here it will try to, and it is allowing us to create a 120 days account. And normally it will allow only 30 days account. You can go and create. If you go and see, normally it will not allow you to create a 120 days account. It is basically will allow only 30 days account. Now website here it is showing 100 days because there is a separate link for that. Now if you go to this particular Snowflake specific account I want to use, let me try to use. So you can mention personal learning and development and click on continue. And here you can mention any name, there is no restriction, and select one of the edition here. We will discuss about Snowflake editions in detail, but as of now, select enterprise, and cloud, you can select any cloud. I am selecting AWS for now, and then click on checkbox and click on get started, and then skip, and also skip this. And it is now creating my account. So my account got created now. I need to go to my email and check for a activation email here. Let us try to see that. I might have received an activation email. Let us see. That email, when you will see a activation link, which you need to, you will see receive similar kind of click to activate email, and you need to click on that. Let me go back. So if your account is already created, you should receive that. I'm just waiting for that. Just wait. Taking some time. Not sure why. So your account can be activated by clicking this activate button, and you will receive a unique URL like this. This unique URL is basically will be assigned to your user, and you need to see how to use this URL going forward. You need to keep it handy, and every time when you are login, you need to use this URL, because this is you also will receive similar kind of another account identifier. This is called account identifier. Snowflake will identify you using this account identifier in the Snowflake environment. So you need to keep this particular URL handy. When you click to activate, it will redirect actually. It will ask you to enter username and password. Actually, this is the previous account, so that's why it is directly moving on. Why it is taking this much time? Let me do one thing. Let me directly use those. This. If you see here, this is showing only 30 days, but the previous one was showing 120 days, which means that you will get for 4 months, but this is only for 1 month you will get. So you need to get another URL. So let me try to use the same account once again. Something is taking this much time. So I should receive an email. Let us see. I don't think it's taking this much time. Okay, anyway, assume that your account, you receive this email, and when you click this, this will prompt you to enter your username and password. Assume you entered your username and password, and you will log in into this particular environment. Usually, you should receive similar kind of email which you see here. This kind of email after you enter all these details. You should receive an email like this, whatever you see. Click to activate. And once you click on this click to activate, and it will ask you like this. Enter your username and password, confirm password, and click on get started. Then it will log in into this environment. This is called Snowset web interface. If you want to see, this is the same one. When you log in, you will see this is the new interface where you will log in and you can access the entire Snowflake environment from this interface, which is a graphical user interface. Click on the plus symbol, click on SQL file, and it will open an SQL worksheet to run your SQL commands. This is the personal account. This is not like enterprise level, personal account which you can use for learning. And there are some other ways to get we have two different accounts are there that we will discuss anyway in upcoming classes. But this is how you can create a free Snowflake account for 30 days free trial. Hope that is clear. So we need to start working on this particular environment by running the basic commands like creating databases, loading the data, the basic commands like SQL commands basically like DDL, DML. These commands, if you are already familiar with, that's okay. But to understand this environment, I advise people to run some basic commands to see how this environment will look like when you use DDL and DML commands. And here, what you have to do, you can create your database objects through SQL commands, or you can also create through interface also. If you go here, there is a interface which will allow me here. I want to get a database. I will go to database explorer, and from here also I can create my database. Already I have like 4 databases which by default you will see the default databases, but I want to create my own database. Means click on this database and give some name here, and then click on create. So you will see the database also in the list here automatically. So 2 default schemas will be automatically created for every new database. Same schemas, information schema and public. These 2 will be automatically created. And to run any commands, you need to go to the respective SQL worksheet, and where you will go to the home, and you can see this particular SQL worksheet. From here also you can create the database, and you can choose the database which you want also. So I'm just selecting in this data here, publish schema, and any table I want to create, I can directly create from here. Create database demo. I can create from here also. The database will be created. You can see a demo database also here. So I can use the schema also. I can create a schema, but already it is pointing to publish schema. It's okay. So how to create a table? So this I can directly create using normal create table statement, or I can create from the interface also. Just like a normal SQL statement. So it created one table. Where it created? In the demo public schema. And you should see one table already which we created just now. Go and see. You will see a table got created now. So this is how you need to create a table. And I can create a table from the interface also. If you go to interface, here, from database perspective, here also from here also you can create. But there is some process for that we'll discuss anyway in the upcoming classes. So I want to stop here for today. And this is basically how you can leverage Snowflake environment by creating a free account and logging into within very short span of time, within 1 or 2 minutes, which is not possible in other databases. So you need some time to the database to be ready, and you will have separate some time duration for your database to be created and ready. Nowadays everything is instant, but comparatively this is very faster. Like how you create a single Gmail account within fraction of seconds, here Snowflake account also can be created like that. So all cloud services are like that only, and including Snowflake. But Snowflake is a little bit different compared to other cloud databases with its unique features which we discussed today. And I'll stop here, and any questions from anyone you can ask. Sunil. Hey Mustaq. Mustaq? Mustaq, I can't hear you. Okay, it's okay, Mustaq. Looks like you are having some issue in making it okay. Any questions? Jyoti?
Sir, I'm good. I'm good until now. I have an idea. So yeah.
Yeah. But admin side, I mentioned, right? There are some activities.
Yeah.
So those activities you need to focus more on, because see, development perspective, I'll tell you one thing. A admin should be a developer. A developer should not be admin. Correct, no?
Yeah.
You understood, right? A DBA requires a development knowledge, but a developer may not require DBA knowledge, but nowadays it is required, because in Snowflake's perspective, if you go and see, right, Even I worked on Oracle database and SQL Server, but that time there is no need of any DBA activities for a developer. But coming to here, right, in Snowflake project, you should, as a developer, you should know at least some basic admin activities like creating roles and users, environments, and most of the activities like data sharing and then data masking, zero copy cloning, caching, clustering, all these are people expecting.
Yeah.
Even if for a DBA, you should know development also. That is what the challenge now.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Why? Because if you don't know development activities, you don't know what they are doing, and you even if you want to support, right, what will happen? You will stuck somewhere if they come up with some issue. To be honest,
Yeah. Yeah.
correct? No?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, that is what. If you are working on already Snowflake, that's very good. But my advice is you need to know what are the common activities people do and what issues they encounter. For example, I will tell one example. There might be so many data loading issues which you encounter.
Yeah.
But a developer can do that. Sometimes a DBA involvement is required. For example, integration. For example, an integration everybody cannot create. A DBA can only will create. If any integration is having issue, you should know what is the Snowflake integration first.
Yeah.
And how it is created. What are the prerequisites? And you should know that. If you don't know what happens, you cannot go and support them, to be honest. Because SQL Server and Oracle DBA activities, which you already might have done, some activities will be similar here, but additionally, you also need to know some Snowflake features also. That is what I can tell, because as per my experience out of my 5 years here, right, in Snowflake journey, I learned most of the things because I don't have any mentor, but I learned through project. But majority I learned on experience, on job experience, because I know, because most of the issues I encountered helped me to explore more. If any bad records will encounter, how to redirect them in a separate table. So why data pipeline should continue? If any data issues, major data issues only will break the pipeline. And how to prevent that? You will have a dynamic schema valuation will be there. The schema suddenly will change the file columns.
Yeah.
How to address that? How to automate the new columns to be added to the table. So there are some features like schema evaluation example. So like that you need to learn. You got it?
Yeah, got it.
I hope you might have already got some exposure to Snowflake, but
yeah, I have some exposure, not fully, but schema, that one I don't know. That's what I just joined here.
Yeah. There are so many other features which I was talking, right? And not only that, so you see so many features which DBA use, developer will not use. There are some features where developers use, even DBA does not require to use. But we should have some particular knowledge on both.
Yeah.
We cannot skip. That's what I can say as per my experience. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions, Sunil?
Yes, sir.
Ask me.
Sir, actually, this is a personal question, not
Okay.
question.
Okay.
I would like to learn only Snowflake, not the entire AWS or the other requirements. So as I discussed earlier, right?
Correct. If you don't want to learn the sense, how will you integrate Snowflake with that?
Like earlier in my project, I have worked with integrating with the ADLS. I have a little bit knowledge on copy commands, how it works, and
I totally agree. I'm not opposing that, but how will you know what is a storage integration? Do you know that?
yeah, and not in detail, but it's a pointing direct to the storage
Correct.
with the
What
tenant
if you,
ID.
okay, agree. What if you get an issue? Do you know how to resolve it? Do you know? See, seriously, I'm not joking. If you go to any project, right, you will get
Yes,
the real heat when you find an issue only. I cannot say
yes,
that I know how to integrate, but what if a issue will arise? How to resolve it? Which are the common issues?
Yes. Right now our session is with the AWS, right?
Correct. AWS only. Correct. You are right.
When we are having the session with the integrating with Azure,
That part I cannot tell now because this is basically I am focusing more on AWS services, Sunil. Because see most of the Azure I get very limited requirement. Most of
okay.
I have daily almost 4 to 5 batches I'll run. Okay,
Okay.
so all batches are AWS only. Very occasionally on basis, some people whenever they come up with a Azure requirement, then only I'll go with Azure. Why? Because most of the projects in the market also go with AWS only now. You may have the
Okay.
requirement in a project, but as per my experience, which I'm telling,
Okay.
even I worked on
Sorry,
Azure. Tell me.
is there any your previous courses recording sessions available with Azure?
No, Sunil. I don't have any Azure side. Only AWS side I have. That part we'll discuss later. Okay. Maybe you can talk.
Yeah.
We'll talk offline. Okay.
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 Thanks
Thank
for
you.
the
No,
valuable question.
no problem. Okay,
Yeah,
Jyoti.
thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Any specific questions you have, you can ask. And
We also work on the Azure only.
okay.
So,
We'll see that. Because I'm not sure because as per Prabhakar, he said that you are looking for a DBA. So that's what you can see. This batch is basically I use AWS as a service, but Azure specific, if you people are looking for, then I need to go and start another batch. But I need to get some other people also in general.
Okay.
But the DBA activities wherever it is common. There is no specifically for Azure, it is separate or AWS is separate. You know, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Whatever the DBA activities you do, that is common to both clouds. Only when
Yeah.
you
Both. Yeah, it will be, I think, both similar. It will be.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thanks for the valuable session.
Okay.